Hey guys, Chris McCarthy here with Jump Rope Fit, and this is your workout of the day. Now before we jump into today's workout, make sure you click that button down below to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of these daily workouts. All right guys, let's just get started into today's workout, and how this is going to work is I'm going to go over all of the movements within this workout today to make sure that you are doing proper movement and form on these, and then I'm going to queue up the actual follow along video so then you can get started right away. However, if you want to skip the introduction and skip the movements and jump right into that follow along workout, you can click the full workout link down in the description and it'll jump right ahead to the full follow along workout. All right guys, today's workout is going to be 3 rounds, and it's going to start off with the jump rope, and we're just going to do 1 minute of jump rope. Now as always guys, we want to make sure that we are maintaining proper form here on this jump rope, so keep those feet together, and it's a bounding motion on the balls of your feet. So you're just bounding up and down, jumping just a couple inches off of the ground. We don't need to bring our knees up, kick our legs back. It's just a straight up and down, relaxed bounding motion. Once you initiate the first swing of that jump rope, you want to make sure you're keeping your elbows in close to your sides, shoulders are down and relaxed, chest is up, and you're rotating that rope just with your wrist, and your hands are slightly in front of your hips. Now you're just going to jump rope for 1 minute, and you can just do this basic 2-foot jump. If you want to intensify it, you can do a little bit of a run in place, switch off to a boxer step, you can do a freestyle movement, or if you really want to intensify this workout, you can go ahead and do double unders, and that's going to be 2 rotations of that jump rope for every jump. After 1 minute is up, you're going to set your jump rope down, and we're going to go into 30 seconds of kettlebell swings. So set my jump rope down here, you can have a kettlebell, set this down on the ground. What you want to do here, maintaining proper form and technique on these kettlebell swings. So you want to start off, you want to make sure that you're in a nice foundational stance here. So your feet are a little bit wider than hip width apart. Toes are pointed out slightly here. You're going to have a slight bend in your knees. What's going to happen is when you're going to reach down to grab that dumbbell or that kettlebell, you're going to initiate the first swing by swinging it back between your legs. Now, you're going to use the power of your lower body, your quads, your glutes, your hamstrings, by popping open those hips to then generate the speed, power, and momentum to go ahead and bring that kettlebell all the way up over the top of your head. You're not bending your arms at this point. You're not pulling the kettlebell at all. Really, all your arms are doing on this kettlebell swing is attaching that kettlebell to your body. The kettlebell swing is just a lower body movement, and you're using the strength, momentum, and the power of your lower body to generate the power that's needed to bring that kettlebell all the way up overhead. So I'm in this nice squat stance. I'm going to send those hips back. You're going to hinge at the waist. Knees are tracking out over those toes, so make sure you're not bending those knees or caving them in at the middle. We're going to go ahead and grab this kettlebell. Chest up, shoulders back, head and neck is in neutral spine. I'm going to initiate the first swing of that kettlebell by swinging it back between my legs, and then using the power of my lower body and popping those hips open, I'm then generating the power to bring that kettlebell all the way up overhead. So you're just going to do 30 seconds of these kettlebell swings. Once you've done 30 seconds of the kettlebell swings, you're then going to go ahead and set that kettlebell down. Then you're going to pick up the jump rope again for another 1 minute of jump rope. So freestyle, 2-foot jump, double unders, whatever movement you choose. After that, we're going to move into 30 seconds of kettlebell goblet squats. So once again, we want to make sure that we are in a nice squat stance here. So feet are a little bit wider than hip width apart, toes are pointed out slightly. You're going to go ahead and grab this kettlebell, and you'll be holding it in a goblet position. A couple different ways you can go ahead and do that is you can hold it by the horns, by the handles here, just underneath, or if you want to switch it off, you can put one hand through the kettlebell and support it underneath, and then another hand on the side. So whichever method you choose, probably based on the weight of the kettlebell. If it's a heavier kettlebell, instead of grabbing it by the sides, you might want to have that one hand underneath for support. Once you have this up in that goblet position here, in that front rack position, you're then going to hinge at the hips, start to send that butt back. Knees are going to track out over those toes to make sure once again they're not caving in, and you're going to come all the way down to full depth here, hips down below knee level, and then you're going to press through the floor, open up those hips at the top to full extension at the top. Now you're going to have this kettlebell in this front rack position, so it's going to want to pull you forward. That's why you make sure that you're engaging those lats in the back and you're sitting back in your squat to make sure you're not falling forward. So you take this kettlebell, get it up in this front rack position, and hinge at the hips, knees start to bend, knees are tracking out over those toes, down to full depth here at this position, and then stand fully upright, opening up those hips at the top. All the way down, all the way up. And do 30 seconds of these kettlebell goblet squats. Once you've done 30 seconds of those, then you can set the kettlebell back down. Go ahead, pick up that jump rope again, and you do 1 minute of jump rope. Then we're going into the final movement today, which is gonna be 30 seconds of kettlebell push-ups. So depending on the size of your kettlebell, you'll probably have your hands up here on the top. Now you're gonna have a little bit limited range of motion than you typically would on a standard push-up because you've got that kettlebell right in the center location. So you really only go down to here. What this is doing though, is instead of having your hands out wide, what you're doing is by having those hands in close, grabbing the sides of that kettlebell handle, is you're really developing the center part of your chest, and you're actually gonna get a really killer tricep workout on this as well. So we're gonna get this kettlebell, set it down on the ground here. We're gonna put our hands on the side of this really close together. We're gonna go back into a plank position. Now, as always on this plank position, making sure that you're not sagging down or piking up, so nice plank position, and also make sure that your shoulders and elbows and wrists are all in a line. So you wanna be right over the top of that kettlebell. We don't wanna be back here or over the front of that kettlebell. So nice vertical line here with our arms. From this position, we may need to space your feet out a little bit wider so you have a little bit of a wider stance and foundation. From here, you're gonna bend those elbows, keep those elbows in close to your side, to your chest touches that kettlebell, and then press all the way up. All the way down, all the way up. By those hands being close together here, we are really working the center part of the chest, and we're getting a killer tricep workout in there as well. So you're gonna do 30 seconds of those kettlebell push-ups, then you're gonna go ahead and rest for 1 minute, and that completes 1 round of this workout. And like I said, we're gonna complete a total of 3 rounds today. All right, guys, that is today's workout. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna cue up the full follow-along workout so you can get started right now. And as always, make sure you subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow in the Jump Rope Fit Gym.